everyone, to the Man Way episode 4. Hello, Carl. How you doing?
I'm vertical today. Again.
Are you persevering?
Yeah, I'm making it.
All right, good deal. I'm feeling great and doing great, and we need to talk about why there is another empty bottle on the table. Now, the last time there was an empty bottle on the table,
Yep.
it was a good one.
Yeah. It was just too good to not have in the episode.
Not so much with the vanilla porter from the Breckenridge Brewery in Colorado.
Which we knew before they were big.
Yes, I actually used to live in Colorado, and I actually had some Breckenridge Brewery beers. Pretty impressive back in the 90s.
Knew someone who worked there.
I knew someone who worked there in the food department as a chef. And so we thought tonight, with hopes and dreams, that this would be fantastic. And it was pretty much lackluster.
Yeah.
Now,
of the porters, it was near the bottom of the list.
I could barely taste the vanilla or the porter.
Yeah.
It was like water. Now, not as bad as that Guinness we had recently.
Correct. Not as bad as the Guinness.
Now, for the audience, think about the last time you had a Guinness. Was it on draft or in a can? If it was in a can, think about how watered down it tasted compared to that first Guinness you had many years ago.
Yep.
That was our experience. And this is just like that. This is like water. And we started to get an idea of, hey, someone's had their hand in this.
So we looked up who owns Breckenridge Brewery. And
sure enough, they sold out.
Yep, they are owned by Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah, Anheuser-Busch. So, I was going to finish this for dramatic effect on camera, but if I had a bucket, maybe I'd pour it out.
Yeah, there's only 2 sips in it anyway.
Yeah, all right. Well, here, open these up. I'll finish this bad boy, and let's open up and talk about these guys.
Weyer.
Always a winner, or generally, yeah.
They haven't had a loser yet. They've all been really well done.
Now, this is the Sunday morning stout, but we're not legalists here. We believe we can drink these on a Friday night.
Sure.
Okay.
Wait, I don't remember trying this. Now, you're saying it's fantastic.
I thought we had this.
And you thought we had this. I don't remember having it.
Oh, wait. This is stout aged in bourbon barrels with coffee, and it's a 12.7 ABV.
Oh, my.
So we are, so by the end of this episode, if we're no longer talking as clear as we are now, you'll understand. Actually, no, we can handle our stuff pretty well. Hey, let's take a sip and see what these taste like. Oh, my.
The bourbon and the coffee are there.
Very much so. And while I was drinking, I took a sniff in because when you smell,
yeah,
it enhances your taste buds. If you don't know what I'm talking about, pinch your nose sometime and put like a piece of broccoli in your mouth. You'll barely taste anything. So always have your nose clear, especially when drinking beer. And you'll get amazing flavor. Wow. This is going down in the record books.
Wow. Weyer has done it again.
11 out of 10 stars.
So was that what it was like before, or is this something different?
This is different. I never had this guy. Now, Weyer is out of Easton, Pennsylvania. So hello to our Eastern friends. Not too far east, but they're...
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. Let us know in the comments if you've had the vanilla porter from Breckenridge Brewery or anything from Breckenridge Brewery. Let us know if you've had Weyer and especially this one. And as always, we are open for suggestions on what to drink next. If you want to send us something that is out of our area, send us a private message. We'll figure it out. So, I want to talk briefly tonight about a theme in movies. And I want you to help me out with this. Now, Carl doesn't know I'm going to bring this up, so I'm really excited to see where this is going to go. But years ago, back in 1995, I was single, and a movie hit the theaters, and I was so wowed by this movie. We had never seen a movie like this before, and I loved it so much, I saw it in the theater about 6 or 7 times that year. In fact, it was 95. It was in the theaters, and then it left the theaters, as movies do. People clamored for it. It came back for another month or two.
Because back then, we didn't have the internet.
Nope.
Happened.
Nope. And then it left. And then later that year, around November or so, they brought it back for another 2 or 3 weeks in the theaters. It was that powerful. And I saw it during all 3 runs. And that movie was Braveheart, starring Mel Gibson.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It really hit me as a young man, because, young men were, like, full of energy and passion, and we want to change the world, and that movie was just freedom! You know how it goes. Incredible. Since then, over the years, I've watched it many times. I love the movie. But then, I've started reading that the history in it is, well, you even have a replica sword of the William Wallace sword from the movie, don't you?
Love it. Yeah.
Great office piece.
Yep.
I started reading about how historically inaccurate it was. Now, did the Scots fight for freedom? They did. Mm-hmm. Did the Irish join them? They did, in some cases. Did the Scots have victories? They did. But there were many other things in the movie that were historically very inaccurate. Everything from the gear they wore to the weapons they used, and so much of it was inaccurate. It has now been dubbed by historians as the most historically inaccurate historical biopic.
They just don't like freedom.
So that's what I want to talk to you about. Since then, The Patriot has come under fire, and so have other historical epics or historical biopics. So what I want to talk to you about is the thought of filmmaking and telling a story. Now, because freedom and Braveheart is such an amazing subject, it's still a great movie. Mm-hmm. Even if it's historically inaccurate.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that is the real soul of a historical movie, is the inspiration that it is, not necessarily its accuracy. Although sometimes the accuracy is the inspiration.
Okay.
But the way that they portrayed their fight for freedom was all that mattered.
Yeah, it was incredible. So, yeah, when you're talking about accuracy, recently we talked about the 1517 to Paris, and how that movie was pretty much entirely accurate.
Yes.
It was on the money, and the people who lived it were the people in the movie itself. And they're not going to play something that didn't really happen. So they did well. Mm-hmm. But if Braveheart or The Patriot or Gladiator are historically inaccurate, well, do we really care a whole lot? It's not like we're watching a documentary.
Right. That's the point. I mean, they say, this is a documentary and this is a movie.
Right, so if you want historically accurate, then watch a documentary, which more or less follows like a scientific method, really. Mm-hmm. But a movie is a movie, and we need to treat it as such. It kind of reminds me of when The Passion came out. And yes, The Passion did very well in the box office.
Yep.
But there were certain Christians that just couldn't handle it because, Mel Gibson had to throw in his Catholic teachings or whatever.
Yeah.
His Roman Catholic teachings. And I'm thinking, come on, folks. Did the message come through or not?
Yes. And on the whole, it was a pretty well done depiction of the Passion.
If you want a documentary on Christ, then go open up the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
You can read it. It's not very long. It gives you the blow-by-blow right there.
Right.
And if you want to see a dramatic representation and some poetic license and some artistic license, then you watch a film artist put something like that together and get it on the screen.
By the way, that reminds me, I think Jim Caviezel announced that they are working on the sequel, which is after the resurrection. So that should be interesting.
Yeah.
I look forward to
I heard
that.
something about that too.
In fact, that movie was so good that there were even unbelievers who watched it and, from a movie standpoint, still liked it because, from a movie standpoint, it was very good.
Oh, absolutely.
Really well done. So,
I don't think that there was much in the way. If you look at Rotten Tomatoes, it's there are other movies that have a worse disparity between the critics and the audience because the audience absolutely thought it was fantastic, and the critics panned it somewhat. But I think it was so well done that there's other movies that are even a much larger disparity because Mel Gibson really did a great job on that, and I don't even think that Mel Gibson is the cat's meow and one of the greatest guys and a cult leader type guy. He's not that great of a guy, but
no,
it doesn't matter. That movie that he did was exceptional.
It really was, and I didn't even really intend for this to be a Mel Gibson night. I mean, we could even talk about Apollo 13, another great historical biopic, and really well done. And actually, from what I understand, pretty fairly accurate.
Yeah.
There were some side characters that I think they embellished a bit. I think the one guy who got sick and didn't go on the trip, there was some embellishment in the movie regarding him.
Yep.
But I think generally the movie went as history went.
Yeah, I think that they asked one of the astronauts that was on Apollo 13 what his thoughts were of the movie, and he said, "Well, more or less, it was pretty good." He said the emotion in among all of the engineers on the ground and the people in the LEM, he said everything was very professional and everyone was talking calmly and trying to solve the problem. They didn't see any reason to get angry or yell at each other or get excited about anything because it just wasn't going to help anyway. So they didn't do it. And he said, of course, that doesn't make for good movie making. He was absolutely right, So
now that one historical biopic or epic, Independence Day, I just don't feel like it. Oh wait, that was fiction.
Oh yeah.
Area 51. Yeah, maybe not. Anyways,
so I think that the point, though. A good point that can be made is that the media really hates, the mainstream media really hates freedom, and they're going to go out of their way to pick apart something like Braveheart.
Okay, yeah, so let's downplay it because it's not historically accurate when we're missing the real message of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So Braveheart and The Patriot both would fall in that category.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Good. Boy, I tell you what, this is just, every sip is incredible. It doesn't get worse. It just keeps getting better.
I'm going to have to save these for the holiday celebration.
Save the other two. It came in a 4-pack.
Yep.
And usually around September, October, Carl and I start saving the best beers for Thanksgiving. We should even film
Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yeah.
We should film a Thanksgiving episode.
That
would be fun.
Oh, we should.
That would be great. We'll film a Thanksgiving episode and we'll showcase the beverages that we try throughout the day. Now, I must add a caveat. Carl and I are not alcoholics. We drink responsibly. But on Thanksgiving, we generally have a beer every hour or two throughout the day.
Yep. A brandy.
Some brandy, maybe some sherry or some bourbon, mixed up throughout the day, coupled with water, so that no one ever gets drunk. But we enjoy, and wine, throughout the entire day, through dinner and beyond. And if you haven't guessed, Carl and I are always together. Our families are always great friends and always fellowshipping. So we'll film a Thanksgiving episode, and that would be great.
Yep. And
showcase what we've had and what we will have. So
Thanksgiving is the best holiday of the year.
It's so much fun. So much fun. Well, hey, Carl, one last cheer to you, and to the cameraman, to you. Thanks for joining us for episode 4. We'll see you, and please comment and tell us more about yourselves and what you want us to do. Have a good night.
Also, comment on the theaters.
Yeah.
There's the films you've gone to that you think that the media has spun for their own little ideology.
Yes.
Insert their own ideology.
We want your beer and your